Hey everyone, so we're back with another math lesson. Today we are going to be focusing on line plots and lengths and plotting fractions and mixed numbers. So before we go into the lesson, I want to show you what a mixed number is and how we get there. So I'm going to make myself smaller and I'll put myself right here in the center. So if we look here, we have a number line with some fractions already on it. So we have 1/3, 2/3, this 1, which would be 3/3, and 4/3, or 4/3, which we learned in our last lesson, that if the top, the numerator, is bigger than the bottom, the denominator, then it is greater than 1. Another way to write this would be in a mixed number. So I'm going to show you that. So if you see here, I have changed this from 4/3 to 1 1/3. So before we were writing the greater fractions as the greater numerator and the lesser denominator. Now we are going to keep the pattern, but we are going to put the whole number first. So if you see here, we have 0, 1/3, 2/3, 1 whole, or 3/3, then we have 1 1/3. So we have the same pattern, but we're putting the whole number here. So I'll show you. If I was to put another green dot here, now I have 1 2/3, continuing to follow the pattern, but now I have a whole number in front of it because I passed the number 1. So I have 0, 1 1/3, 0, 1/3, 2/3, 1 whole, 1 1/3, still the same pattern, 1 2/3, still the same patterns, and now I'm going to have another whole. So let me mark that for you. So now you see I have my next whole, so this is going to jump into the same pattern again, but I have now my whole is 2. So this dot will be 2 1/3. So I have my 2, which is my whole, and then my pattern continues. 2 1/3, 2 2/3. So here I have 1/3, 2/3, 1 1/3, 1 2/3, 2 1/3, 2 2/3. So my pattern continues with whatever numbers you're working with. So I hope that makes sense because that's what we're going to be looking at in this next lesson. All right, so what we have here is our solve and share, and like I said, we're working on line plots and length. So I'm going to go ahead and read the question to you. It says, Monica and her friends measured the lengths of their shoes. Show this data by marking a dot for each length on the number line below. Measure the length of one of your shoes, add a dot to represent that length on the number line. What length was most common? So the first thing that we want to do is they've already given us here the length of the shoes and the plot, the number line. So what we're going to do is plot these on here. So I'm going to zoom in and get my tool ready. All right, so here we go. We're going to start. Oh, come here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start at the first one, and it says that it measures 8. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot at 8 inch. Yeah, we have inches. Then I see 8 2/4. I'm going to go ahead and put one there. 9 1/4. Another 8 2/4. So I'll just go ahead and stick it on top. Another 9 1/4. Another 9 1/4. A 9. A 9 1/4. A 9. An 8 1/4. And then mine, I'm going to pretend I measured, and I'm going to put mine at 8 2/4. So there we have plotted all of the lengths of the shoes. So all you do is you take a look at the measurement and you just go ahead and stick a dot or an X, whatever you want to draw, onto the line plot. So let's take a look at what the next part of the directions were. We're going to go up, So we plotted, we measured our shoe, we added a dot, and it wants to know what length was the most common. So we know what the most common was. Whoever has the most dots will be the most common. So in our case here, 9 1/4 inches has 4 dots, and that is the most. So 9 1/4 would be the length that is the most common. So we're going to be doing another example of this before I send you on your quick check, but I'm also going to show you how to measure something with a ruler and what the little lines on the ruler means. So I'm going to go to the next page. So we're just going to take a look up here at the essential question, and we are going to just look at this ruler right here because I don't have one on the screen. So it says Anna is measuring the length of her crayons. How can she use a ruler to measure to the nearest 4th inch? So if we look right here, it says the distance between each whole number on this ruler is 1 inch. Each blue mark shows 1/4 inch. So each whole inch is divided into 4 1/4 inches. So if you see here, they're talking about the whole numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3. In between here, there are small lines and then some bigger lines. The bigger lines, the second to biggest lines are the fourths. The bigger lines are the halves. So where it says 2/4, that would technically be 1/2, but right now we're not going to look at it that way, I guess. So if this crayon is from 0 to this line right here, we're just going to do it to the closest 1/4 because that's what the direction is asking us to. So here I know that I already have 1, 2, and my closest 1/4 is right here. So they have it marked as 10/4. So that's how they're doing it for this one. Hopefully I can get a ruler up on the screen for the next example. All right, so we're going to look at example number 3 here. Let me just get my dot ready. We'll use yellow this time. And we are going to make this bigger. Okay. So the thing that I wanted us to do was to draw a line plot to show the data. So here I have my line plot. I saw that I needed to end with 4, and I had fourths, so I went ahead and wrote 3, 3 1/4, 3 2/4, 3 3/4, and it would have been 3 4/4, which would have been 2 holes, which would have been the next number. Or I'm sorry, 3 holes plus another hole, which is 4, sorry. So we are just going to go ahead and plot these for what it has. So it says 3 1/4, so I'll put a dot. 3 3/4, I'll put a dot. 3 1/4 again. 4 and 3 2/4. And that is all you have to do when plotting. You're making the number line unless it's made for you already, and you're just plotting the dots. So it's as simple as that. So for number 4, this little dot keeps getting stuck over there. For number 4, it wants you to measure your pencil to the nearest 4th inch. So let me see if I can get a ruler. All right, so I can't find a ruler to put on the screen, and I don't think I have one at home. So we're just gonna look at this one again, and I'll say the example. I'm pretty sure you probably know how to measure on a ruler, but we'll just go over it again. So say this is my pencil. I line it up, the tip at the 0, and then lay it straight. So here my fourths are marked for me. So you can use this as an example to pull up when you have your own ruler out. So I'm going to go to the end of my pencil or my crayon, and I'm going to pull it into whatever the closest 4th is. So in this case, it says 10/4. So I'm not sure how many in the quick check will have you actually measure, but that is how you do it. And again, if you need help, please let me know. I'd be happy to walk you through it. All right, so those are the 2 types. Let me make myself bigger. Those are the 2 types of examples that you will see on your quick check. So if you look just right up here where it says length of Sandy's pencils, I just want to go over again that this is a mixed number, and go back to the beginning of the video if you need help with mixed numbers. I don't believe that you'll be making any mixed numbers in this quick check, just plotting them. But if there's anything that you need help with, please let me know. I know this is a hard concept and it's really hard for me to do over the computer as well. So if anything doesn't make sense, please let me know and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.